Another month, another release for Citizen Brick. So we're going to go ahead and check out everything that came out from Citizen Brick in March of 2024. The box, same sort of design, but like last time I pointed out, the tissue paper has changed. Looks like I also received free Citizen Brick sticker, so that's a nice little bit of a freebie. Got some parts, got some figures, so let's check those out. And here's everything out of the box. Like I said, a couple figures. So we got 2 carded figures in their normal packaging, and one first for them, printing on some mini dolls from the Lego Friends line. So that'll be interesting to take a look at. Plus 2 minifigure parts and a new tile. Let's just get those minifigure parts out of the way first. The minifigure parts are going to be pretty easy to get over since it is just torso and head with printing on the front. You get a bandage wrapping around, some blood coming through that. It would have been cool to have some white continuing on the back to make it a bit more continuous. Didn't happen though. Obviously, if you have a helmet on or hair, that would cover up the rest of the printing. Probably makes sense that they wouldn't do more white. This torso, though, is awesome. You get the cactus, the sun, both with neutral faces on it, looks like, so that is a cool detail. And the Howdy font is very Western. Reminds me a lot of movie posters for that genre. Of course, the tile, pretty self-explanatory. Notice no warning shots fired. Thought this would be great for my upcoming Fallout mocks, so pick that up. We'll see if I end up using it. Better to have it than not have it. And these legs I just threw on, they are from their last release or 2 ago, where they just released these camo legs. So thought these would go with the head, and overall just a decent selection of figure parts. Let's go on to the actual minifigures now. Looking at the carded figure first, it is going to be their typical packaging for the last couple of years. Red cardboard, plastic shell with a little bit of silver shine behind them. They use a sticker for the different names. Some funny write-ups, and on the back more information, their website, social media where you can find them, and all of these are unofficial Lego, pad printed just like Lego. So let's go ahead and get this on the stand. And here is the Cheer Enthusiast out of the packaging, which is obviously a Cowboys cheerleader, American football team, featuring some decent wraparound leg printing with Citizen Brick's new technique of white legs for boot printing, basically. Printing some flesh around the legs as well to give it sort of the leg look there. They have 2 very similar designs, being the Hooters girl as well as Dirk Diggler from their Boogie Nights set. And surprisingly, there is no reuse. I thought these were definitely going to be pretty close. Or even these would basically be the exact same leg design, but you can see that the sort of boot cut is actually at different heights. The line thickness is different between the 2 of them. And on the side even, you can see that there's the extra detailing there. Maybe the gray going across is the same, but it's a different thickness. So I don't even think that is copied. Same goes maybe for the back of the legs. I could see these being similar, but the short printing is different. So they'd have to make a new pad anyway. So I was definitely surprised by that. I think definitely the gray line on the bottom of the feet for both these figures could be the same. But other than that, completely new set of legs. Getting to the face print, I don't know if I like the black smile lines. They seem a bit too present. Maybe they should have been a different color that made them a little more subtle. I think back of the minifigure is pretty good since there is hip printing, leg printing, and just more ruffles hanging down on that jacket. Same goes for the front. I think the flesh matches pretty well on the legs and torso. It might be a little bit lighter on the actual plastic, especially when you're comparing all of them like this under harsh lighting. But from a distance where there aren't lights shining right on it, I'm sure it'll blend up pretty well. You can see that there's a little bit of white left on the sides there, which looks pretty good. Doesn't stand out too much if I'm being completely honest. I feel like this would probably be a figure that would benefit from side printing. I know that would look a little weird since the flesh printing doesn't reach the outside of the torso. But they do have side hip printing, which is different for them. They don't always do that, so that's kind of cool to see. And you know what? That's all I really have to say here. I think the face could probably be better. Let's switch out the Emma Frost MRM face to see what that'll look like. And honestly, I feel like this is an even better look. Something a bit more excited. I just think this face maybe could use some work. Not the best one. But I think the torso and legs are good. Let's move on to the next figure. which I think is definitely a top 10 figure of the year contender right here, and maybe even top 5 being Will Smith from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Lots of good things about this. You get the printed hat, surprisingly, where it has the printing on the top of the hat, you can see right there, but also on the brim there's a little bit of green going around the outside of it and on the top. So that's a very cool detail, not something they always do. You know, they do print usually a logo on a hat, they've done that multiple times. A little different there. You get the Lego camera, not a crazy accessory, but fits for the intro of the show. And just look at the printing on this. Really loving the colors popping out. You get printed lime sleeves, which is cool. Love getting their sleeves, but also getting the print on that is even better. The legs also feature great wraparound printing with the leg showing under the shorts in between the shoes. Even the shoe printing is pretty good, wrapped all the way around. Here's a little bit of blue on the top of the foot, which just happened. It stands out a little bit to me, honestly, since it should be the green right there instead of blue. But not a lot you can do, I guess. Honestly, for this, maybe it would have made sense to do the same as the boot prints that I showed off earlier, where they should have done it on a black leg set and then printed the blue. But I don't know, maybe that wouldn't look very good. I do like the little pocket, the sunglasses. Another little fun detail with those is that they continue on the back where the strap would be tied up. And a little bit of collar there as well. Face print is also fun. I've been seeing some people posting some cool pictures with this. Just a good positive expression. I don't know if it's a great likeness for Will Smith in the show, honestly, but I don't really mind. I like the whole kind of just vibe of the character, and that's really what appeals to me. I didn't really grow up watching the Fresh Prince, so not going to be like a huge fan of that, but I do like the colors. I like the printing, and honestly, that's enough for me to say that this is a good figure. Let's move on to the weirdest figure of the release, Borbie. And moving on from the Fresh Prince, we have one of their more interesting products in recent time, being this Borbie figure. The pink on the packaging is reminiscent of Barbie doll sort of boxes. On the back, has that logo again, that is basically the Barbie logo. Write-ups of the company, just like the carded figures, and it's from citizenbrick.com. I'm interested to see what this is like. Let's check it out. And this abomination is something that I thought about basically a week before the release, where I wondered why nobody has done custom printed Friends minifigures, since the proportions are a little bit different, so you can probably do a little more with the designs. And Citizen Brick basically got around to it a week later, so very interested to see that they finally went and did this. I wonder if they've been thinking about it, just trying to find the right design. And with Barbie coming out, last year, must just be perfect timing. Things to point out, the hair does have a little bit of the roots printed with some black, so it adds a little bit of value there with that hairpiece. And I know this hair is just a little bit rarer as well, not being super common. So I think it came with like the collectible minifigure Series 2 Lifeguard or Series 3, something like that. Just pop that off. I don't think there's going to be any missing printing behind it or anything like that, but it'll help us see the back of the torso a little more with the, I guess, back line. Doesn't have like a necklace on or anything, so I'm not sure why that is there. Oh, it looks like the continuation of the bikini, actually. Okay. Then you get the tied strap. That's how that there is for printing on the back. Where the fun begins is just the creepy head. I think the design is pretty interesting and kind of bums me out it's not on a minifigure head, honestly, because I just love how unsettling this is. You get like a beauty mark, maybe some freckles, both sides, or just like meth dots, whatever you would want to call those. Looking at the legs, you got some ripped pants at the bottom, some stains, tears maybe, and of course you get a little K tattoo for Ken. They haven't made an official Ken minifigure to go with it, but I did make a beach Ken from some of my Citizen Brick parts, so now I have 2 of those to go together. And what you see is what you get. If you want a cursed minifigure, this is definitely going to be it. And I'm interested to see if they're going to do more Friends minifigures. They did all the inflatable tube guys, so maybe this is the beginning of a next trend of Citizen Brick. I'm all for it. Print some weird curse stuff, and I'll definitely pick it up. Glad to have Borbie, and let's go ahead and get into some comparisons and the final verdict. Overall, I'd say this is a decent wave of products. You know, there's probably a little bit for everybody. Borbie stands out a lot as being the first of their mini doll minifigures, obviously. I think pairing it with my Fig Bar for Beach Ken is fun as well. I got He-Man right next to them for the toy minifigures, basically. I think Will Smith is going to fit in with any of your other rapper, musician type minifigures, or even in your TV line if that's what you collect. And the cheerleader, you know, you could get a couple of these, fill in like a stadium setup of some sort. I think face print could be better. I'm not always the biggest fan of the CB female face prints, but printing overall is good on that. The legs are nice. Torso is pretty good too. Fits along with other women characters you might have. And all of these with those boot prints like I showed off, where they are very similar but different. Nothing is stolen completely, which I'm always surprised about, especially with the shorts as well. Howdy Torso is definitely a standout though for me, and I do think that is one of my favorite standout torsos that they put out, maybe in the last year, for this year for sure. And it's always fun just to put some figures next to each other like this from the same brand, to see some similarities, some differences. And I definitely say Citizen Brick is going out and trying out some new techniques, getting out some different parts that haven't done before, just pushing themselves to keep creating and being creative. I love to see it. So let me know, out of the new parts or figures, what did you like? And if you want to see more Citizen Brick reviews or custom Lego reviews overall, check out all the videos on my channel. I've been Brick Radiop, and I'll see you in the next video.